everyone. It's time for a new Transformers line. This is, of course, the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Deluxe Class Hound. Yes, one of my first exposures to the new Siege line, which kind of has been making waves for various reasons. We'll get into over the course of the review. And, of course, there's a green army truck there. And behind him is the new box, which has a stray thing on it. The new box. Well, the fact that it's in a box, it's deluxe in a box, not on a card back. You can see there, the new like all gritty Siege just spray paint logo. It's still got the good old Transformers Generations Takara Toby logo there. It says Autobot Hound right here, and there's a little Cybertronian symbol, same back there. And on the side here, you got this nice artwork there, including telling you, it's deluxe class and all that stuff. This also. Apparently there's a little black light thing here. It's you can see it kind of catch the light sometimes, but it's like written right across here. You shine a black light and it'll glow. You can catch it sometimes in certain lights, and not sure how well this is going to pick up on camera at all, but it's there, written right across here. I do not have a black light, unfortunately, so can't really see, but it's Cybertronian letters. I know that. I can see that much. So you got down there. On this side, you got more artwork. Just stuff like, look, there's more characters, the arc. Yeah, it's kind of more Autobot symbol, very gritty Autobot symbol, all that stuff. War for Cybertron trilogy, yep, so a whole new trilogy coming. Copyrights and whatnot, barcode on the back and on the bottom. And on back, you got, hey, look, renders of the character. Renders of the character, Hound and stuff, all this, cross compatibility of the toys, the Battle Masters, which I do not have any of them yet, but they should be coming here soon, warnings and all that stuff. So yeah, interesting they're doing boxes now for the deluxes. Nice boxes, actually. With, of course, they have the weird angle thing that's kind of neat for them, just because, well, you can fit more stuff in a smaller box. Also, instructions. These are nice big instructions, very easy to look at, much clearer than the old stuff from the Prime Wars trilogy. It's a lot easier to read these instructions compared to the old stuff. And they also tell you there's stuff like stats on the instructions too for his guns, which is neat. And tell you just general compatibility with the line gimmick, basically. There's that. But of course, it's Hound. He is a military truck jeep thing, and he's pretty neat looking. Mostly military green right there. You can see all that. Really well picked out paint work on the front here. You got headlights and even the blinkers and everything all picked out. You got the quote unquote battle damage on the little black parts of the bumper here. Which the battle damage thing. You got tail lights, all that stuff picked out. It's really in various browns. The Autobot symbol, star. It's all picked out really nicely, actually. Mine has a little bit of red on the tip right here. I'm not sure where that's from, but it shouldn't be there. But yeah, it also rolls really well. Oh yeah, and the hubcaps are painted too. They're not just black. There's green on it. But yeah, it rolls really well as long as you have clearance, because it doesn't exactly have the high clearance you'd be led to believe it has. But it rolls well. Not some of them, once again, because they're clip-on wheels, not all of them roll as well as others, but it looks really good. It's got this weird thing, it's got the, really small, windscreen. You can see that just really short. It's a really good looking truck mode. I genuinely like this. It's a nice little modern update of just a military vehicle, not just a Jeep. And of course, you got his guns. There's multiple ports. You got multiple ports on the sides there. There's multiple ports. So you got a spare tire thing. So you can put those guns where you want. You can put them on like this. This is the official way, but you could put them in this port or switch them around or whatever you want to do. So it's there is a bit of variation there, or you can port on the Battle Masters or whatever too. But yeah, the paint here, the battle damage. I'll be honest, it doesn't. I know a lot of images make it look really bad. Honestly, it's not as bad as it did in a lot of photography. This actually looks just fine in person. It's not as noticeable. I barely even noticed it was on this bumper until, really shining in these lights. But yeah, it's the battle damage stuff isn't a huge deal, at least on these figures. So the ones I have so far, might be just different figures have are different. But yeah, there's a little bit here and stuff too, on like right here. I can see that, but it's honestly not that noticeable. I barely notice. I mean, you can still take it off if you want to with like what was it? I think isopropyl alcohol can take it off. But honestly, I don't find it to be a problem. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just in the minority on this one. But yeah, transformation though is pretty clever. You should, of course, take these guns off, and you take the little spare tire thing off. And it's really clever. It kind of reminds me of Titan's Return Cup a bit. But first thing you want to do is to lift this black piece off like that. Tabbed in. Just get out of the way. Lift these green pieces up. Lift those up. Right here. Each side. Be a little annoying to get your finger underneath. But yeah, lift those up. And then untab the sides of the fenders off from the hood. Might have to wiggle it a little bit. They're snug. Untab those, and then same time, and then take the arms down here and untab them from the bottom, and then move the, I guess, forward 2/3 outward like this. They're on a little armature. And then you want to go ahead and I like to do it this way: split this right here, the bumper, and then make sure this is lifted up. And you're gonna have to fold this down a little bit. This back part, you're gonna have to fold it down just a little bit so you can clear it from the black part. So uncurl the legs, like so. Then wrap this around, like so. And there's a tab here which go in that slot there. There we go. This slot, that tab. Slot, tab. Line those up, and then straighten the foot out. Same on this side. Tab it in, straighten the foot out. Also, when you're doing that, make sure you need to hold the leg, because this is tough enough that sometimes it'll just untab the leg if you're just not holding it. So be careful of that. Yeah, these arms still straightened out. You fold them outward like this. Make sure to go further than 90 so they're at an angle. This will give the hood clearance to come down, so, which will also reveal the head. Fold the arms back in. Rotate the elbows around. So, and just make sure that all that stuff. Yeah, these axes, this all holds this into place because of the way this tab works. But yeah, just make sure that comes down properly and pull those in. And then take the backpack, curl this up. There's slots and tabs back here for this backpack, and then there's a tab slot here that's supposed to tab in back here. On my copy, it tends to pop itself back out real easily. So it's not a horrible thing, but just be aware of that. And you got Hound in his robot mode. It's a good looking robot. I mean, again, you got more stuff coming up here. You got his, the little stars on his shoulders and stuff. And a lot of this vehicle detail, like on the bumper and stuff, is still here. Now you got also this battle damage, which you could see on some of it on the vehicle mode. Now is more of it's appearing on his shins. More gray and black too, and little bits of brown on his arms. So yeah, and then a really nice little face sculpt there, silver with blue eyes. Nicely picked out. Yeah, it's also neat. He's got his guns, which there's this thing. There's this barrel thing, I guess, the wheel. You can do multiple things with it. You can tab it on the plug on the back there, like that, as a little thing. There's a tab on the side here, which you can use in this slot right here. And it's like an ammo barrel. You can do it on either side. You can plug these guns together like this. You can have it like this. You can also attach this to the back of the green gun if you want. There's multiple options here, and I really enjoy that. It's also these guns are really nicely picked out. Silver and black on this one, and green, silver, and a little bit of brown on this. Nice paint. That's the one thing, is I really like the paint on this guy, and on the other ones I have too. I prefer doing it like this. Hold it with the ammo barrel thing on the gun, and then there's little peg holes up here, and there's just enough room you can peg one of the guns in as a shoulder cannon. I prefer doing it this way. Again, you can do this gun in the shoulder cannon as well. You can also put both of them up there if you want. Lots of options. That's a really nice thing about the play pattern. Lots of gun options if you want. This is that. Articulation though, I'm gonna move this real quick, but because this makes it easier. His head can look left and right. A little tiny bit of forward and back, not a whole lot, or I guess up and down. Not really any side to side. This is not really doing anything. Shoulders though, forward and back, outward. It's actually really tight too. That's one nice thing. Is really tight shoulders. Bicep swivel, elbow. You can see just a tear over 90. It's like 91 degrees. He's also got a wrist swivel. That shocked me. It's a deluxe with a wrist swivel. So that's a really nice thing there. He's got a waist swivel, which is largely unhindered. You might have to push the backpack out a little tiny bit, but it's really not a huge deal. You really don't have to move it that much, but there's waist swivel. Hips forward and back on a, not a ball joint, it's a dual hinge or something. Yeah, forward and back, outward, about yay far. Thigh swivel, which doesn't swivel a whole bunch forward, but it does swivel, or inward, it does swivel a lot outward. Knees, which because of the way it transforms, you can, if it goes about this far before things start banging each other, but if you do move it a little bit, you can get a really more extreme knee movement. So options there. And he's got ankle tilts, which is a big thing. Let's see, there it is. I didn't hold it and it came undone, but that's the big thing about this line is ankle tilts are a thing on like almost every figure, deluxe and bigger. Maybe it's a thing on every figure, deluxe and bigger. And also, it's kind of hindered by the sculpting, but there is an ankle or a toe joint, but it's there, but it doesn't do much. Yeah, I dig this guy a lot. It's a nice one. Again, the only real complaint, my only real complaint is just this backpack doesn't tab in super well. Like it'll go on, and sometimes it'll stick, sometimes it won't. But often this just likes to pop itself back off. It's not a huge deal, but it is something. It might drive some people up the wall. But otherwise, I really do enjoy this figure a lot. It's a really nice deluxe. It just lots of posability. I mean, there's poses in with this figure I can do that I can't really do with other deluxes from the past. Heck, I mean, because these transformation joints, you kind of have a little bit of a weird outwards butterfly. I mean, you can't do inward, but still, it's something. Not intended, but it's something. I mean, the only other thing is these deluxes are smaller. Like, here's Punch. There's Punch is a good head taller than him. They are smaller, but the paint increase, there's so much more paint on this guy, and the articulation as well. Paint and articulation kind of counteract the size difference. And then you got the Voyagers, which I don't have mine yet, but apparently Prime is just as tall as Classics Prime. So I'm not like too upset or anything. I'm kind of like, oh, it is a little smaller, and because it is $20 instead of $8, the price increase and everything, but you do get a lot more paint and articulation. So that's kind of the trade-off, really. You want that paint and articulation, you're going to have to, accept some sacrifices for that. And I think it's worth it, honestly. It's a really solid figure, and I understand. My understanding is they're also trying to really push the scale into make it even more uniform overall across the line. So we're going to have toys which are a more uniform scale and stuff, but I really enjoy this Hound. This is a really nice Hound, and I think I passed over the Combiner Wars one for a reason, and this is at the time it already had 2 versions of that mold, but this is a good Hound. This is a really good Hound. I really like how he looks. He's great, and he has ankle articulation and everything. Is just It's a good figure, and I'd highly recommend picking this. This is one of those, for sure. I can tell you for sure that at least 2 of the figures in the first wave are absolutely you can absolutely pick up. One of them I'll have to get back to you on. It's a issue there. But otherwise, yeah, it's a solid figure, and definitely pick it up. If you like Hound doll, or just really like kind of cool transforming robot guys. He looks good. So, that's it. Hope you found this informative or entertaining. And I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and all that stuff. And I shall see you next time with another video review.